What did I just watch? So I just saw The Lighthouse. What does it mean? Am I supposed to like it or enjoy what I just witnessed? What am I talking about with The Lighthouse? I'm talking about the new psychological thriller starring Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. The Lighthouse is a 2019 psychological horror film directed and produced by Robert Eggers, who previously did The Witch. And the film follows two lighthouse keepers, and they start to lose their sanity. We think they do, when a storm strands them on the remote island which they are stationed at. So this is directed and produced by Robert Eggers, and it's co-written with his brother Max. It's basically a two-man show. And Willem Dafoe plays Thomas Wake. He is the head or senior lighthouse keeper, and Robert Pattinson plays Ephraim Winslow, who is the subordinate. First of all, this film is beautifully shot. Even in black and white, this film really pops. It's very immersive, feels very lived in, it feels very authentic. In some ways, the shoot and the location almost feels like you're witnessing something more to a documentary that's capturing a specific time, a specific place, and a specific mood. I think the ratio, this is not the more modern ratio of filmmaking, it's more of the just sort of closer to a box, closer to a television. And I think that works because it really captures this claustrophobic dynamic of the lighthouse and the living situation, and just the claustrophobic enclosed space that these two men have to operate and live in. And so as Eggers is shooting this film, everything has to be more compact. And so you either get just one shot of one character, a very kind of close, immersive, like in-your-face shot, or they're both really clustered together, which again, it just sort of communicates the lack of space that these men have. It sort of vacillates between claustrophobic and isolation that over the course of the film, you see how that starts to take a toll on them. Another thing that really works with this film is the sound design. The rain, the natural sounds, the wind, the ocean, it's so punishing, it's so pulsating. Even the foghorn itself really adds to the intensity and the distress. There were several times throughout this film when the foghorn would just blast, and it just kind of got under my skin as a film goer. I can't imagine what effect that would have for someone that was staying on an island for over a month, and that's really one of the more consistent or constant sounds that you're bombarded with. So the sound design is really punishing. Watching this film was dreadful, maybe in all of the good ways, or that's the effect that Eggers was aiming for, and if so, he achieved it. The claustrophobic nature, the sound, you know, I felt wet, I felt pulverized, I felt misery while I'm watching this film, as I'm watching these two men go through the physical assault of the weather and just the natural elements in this film. You can't talk about this movie without highlighting the performances. It's a two-man show, and Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, they carry this film. Their performances are so immersive that you feel the dread, the suspicion and paranoia, the anger, the violence throughout their faces, their physicality. These are very physical and immersive performances. Willem Dafoe has these great monologues that he's getting to play kind of the crusty old seaman, but he does it in a way. Did I say crusty seaman? Sorry about that. But you get to see that it feels so authentic. It feels not like a performance, but how someone genuinely would behave and be conditioned during that time. And Robert Pattinson really portrays the subordinate that you couldn't help but start to feel this dread, this anger, this frustration and resentment of how you're being treated and psychologically either be abused or controlled, getting yourself into a situation that you didn't expect it to be. On a number of levels, the filmmaking, the acting, a lot of the technical aspects of this film are so impressive. And yet I have to ask myself and ask you all, did you like the film? I respect the film, but my experiences and my emotions while watching this film were not pleasant. There were certain points where I was kind of, I don't know if the word bored would be right, but definitely kind of disinterested and curious of where this was going. There was other times I laughed, actually. There was a lot of humor in this film. There was a lot of foreboding kind of worry of what was about to happen. I could not anticipate where this film was going, how this film wraps up or resolves. I don't know if it was satisfying. I don't know if it was a letdown or disappointing. This movie is a really unique experience, and I think that's maybe the highest praise. And so I want to recommend this film, but I want to recommend it with some reservations that it's not for everybody. Well, if you don't like surrealism, if you don't like deep Freudian or psychologically rich films but really don't spell out the themes, that this film really invites you to walk away with your own interpretation of not only what was literal and what was maybe symbolic, but also what these characters, what was driving them. There's so much interpretation that you can bring into this film and even walk away without a clear interpretation of what it meant. If that's something that you enjoy and appreciate, then this film is for you. If you are a lover of all the technical aspects of filmmaking, you're going to watch this film and just be rewarded with what is on the screen. But if you're looking for an enjoyable film, certainly if you're looking for a date night flick, I don't know if this film is for you. Now, if you did love this film, if you enjoyed it, like you generally had these positive experiences and emotions from watching it, let me know. I appreciate it, I respect it, and I recognize that my taste in film is not universal, that not every film has to be for me in order for me to respect it, in order for it to be a quality, good film. If you could see yourself watching this repeatedly, let me know, and I'm glad that this film exists for you. So I recommend this film. I'd probably give it about a B+, A-. It's not for everyone. I don't think it's a perfect film. What it does, I think it does well, and that's maybe the highest praise that I can give. Robert Eggers is clearly a talented filmmaker, and I look forward to his filmography as it grows, because he clearly has talent, but he also has creativity, and he's got a point of view and an interest in diving into filmmaking that seems very immersive. So I look forward to his future endeavors, and I'm really interested to hear from you all. A lot of you have recommended that I watch this film, and I need to keep chewing on the themes of this film in order to offer a coherent Psych Cinema video on this. But I'm curious, what was your take on this film? What did you appreciate? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Did you have a good time watching it? I don't want to challenge anybody that does. I'm more curious how this film connected with you. So be sure to leave your comments below. Be on the lookout for a future Psych Cinema episode on the Lighthouse. And while you're at it, be sure to subscribe, tell your friends about this channel, check out some of our other content. Until next time, this is Jonathan Hetterly. Thanks for watching, and I will see you at the movies.